I'm ready whenever anybody else.
Everybody okay? Okay, so far, how's the transition at Ohio State?
It's been good. I'm definitely enjoying my time here. I think we're going on. I've been here 5 weeks now. No complaints thus far, so all good.
Why did you ultimately decide to transfer to Ohio State?
A lot of things went into that decision. When I went in the portal, I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't sure who might reach out, what that would look like, and then, Ohio State was one of the first people to reach out. Checked all the boxes I had. A lot of things made sense, so I just made that decision.
What were those boxes? Sorry, what were those boxes that you want to check?
So really, one of the biggest things was I wanted to win. I came from a winning program at Wright State, and that was something I wanted to continue to do. And the vision here and the pieces they had in place made a lot of sense for me to come in and join this and look towards winning.
One of the relative areas of improvement that this team wants to make is obviously up front court, right under the basket. How do you feel like you fit so far with a couple of workouts underneath your belt?
I think I bring a good bit of size to the team, my size, strength, and one of the things I have is experience. I've been in college for a long time, so I think the combination of all those things will really help me help this team.
You mentioned wanting to win. This is a program that's been close but hasn't made the tournament the last 3 years. Why do you think they're on the cusp of winning and the level that you think that you want to do?
I think there's two key reasons here. One of them is they returned so many guys. I mean, I go down the line, they have like 7 or 8 returners, and all of them have played, some sort of impact here. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is the coaching staff. When they're preaching to me their messages and their things that they want to get done, I aligned with those things, and I believe them. And I think both of those two things combined just really led me to be here.
What gives you the confidence that your game can translate from Wright State to, a higher level of competition maybe in the Big Ten?
Really just the belief in myself. And another thing is the staff's belief in me. Like they brought me here for a reason. I didn't just happen to luck into this, you know what I mean? So I think a combination of that and then belief in myself and all the work, over the years that I've put in to get here, I think is something that I just have to believe in myself. Honestly, there's no, I probably played 6 or 7 high major games in my career thus far, and I'm getting ready to play a schedule full of 25 plus high major games. So it's going to be definitely an adjustment. There's going to be some new things that I'm not used to, but I'm going to have to tackle that head on. And I got my guys around me that'll back me up and be right there with me.
Are there differences you've seen even just in practice in terms of practicing against maybe a different level? Or?
It's a tough question. There definitely has been some things. I think one of the things is like positional size. I've noticed a lot of the guys here in every position are just bigger. So that's one thing that I have to adjust to. And I wouldn't say speed of the game is that much different personally, but again, I haven't also played any other Big Ten teams yet. I'm just kind of playing against my own guys so far.
The portal gave you this opportunity, and the portal's been criticized, praised, all kinds of different things. Is this what you think this is one of the good things about it, is giving you a chance to go to a place like Wright State, develop and play maybe at more of a dream, higher level?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that I'm happy for. When I went to college, I never thought it would turn out like this, to be honest with you. First off, I didn't expect to be in college for 6 years. That's something I don't think anyone ever really plans on. It's just something that doesn't really happen a whole lot. But in my case, it did. And I was given the opportunity to have this last year somewhere else, and I jumped on it. And when I went in the portal, like I said, I had no idea what to expect. And thus far, I couldn't be any happier with how it's ended up.
What was the portal experience? How many people did you hear from? What's that like?
Oh man, it's crazy. It's just as crazy as you're gonna read. I have an agent and stuff, which is also a totally new landscape for college basketball. So between me, my agent, I couldn't tell you how many calls and texts and stuff like that he took and I took. It's just crazy. It's not exactly for the weak at heart, but it's something that, to be in this position, you have to go through with it. So that's just what I did.
For fans who haven't seen you play, how would you describe your game?
Oh, I think I'm a pretty versatile player. I like to play on both ends, offensively, defensively, in the post, out of the post, shoot threes. I try and guard a lot of different positions. So I like my switchability, guarding, guards, guarding bigs. I just think I'm very versatile, and I really, strive on doing whatever is needed. Whatever the coaches tell me to do, want me to do, that's what I try to do.
Brandon, you mentioned your agent. You didn't start with one. Now so you've played kind of both of those styles, right? Of having an agent, not having an agent. Am I correct?
Right, yeah, my first 5 years in college, I didn't have an agent. Going into the portal, I decided that I thought I needed some extra help, really to try and make sure I make the right decision and just to help educate me through that process and guide me through it. So I ultimately went with one, yeah.
I was going to say, what has that been like, going from not having one and now you have that support, you have that person to kind of help you out with all this stuff? Has it been nice?
It's cool, but it kind of feels like a first step to professional career. Because, you know, going in a professional career, you just about have to have an agent. It just makes sense for everyone involved. So it just kind of feels like I'm taking that early step into professional basketball, you know, as a college player. That's what it feels like to me.
You're working with a freshman, Amari Bynum, there at power forward as well. Just what are you seeing out of him? You guys are probably going against each other quite a bit. Just what do you see that he's going to be able to bring?
First off, I think he's a great player. He has a great build, elite athleticism, and he's a smart player. You know, he comes from a good prep school. You know, they're nationally recognized prep school. He's a really good player. So you know, we battle every day just about, and I'm excited. I'm glad to have him on my team, and I'm excited to be here with him.
As the new guy, what's the chemistry been like on and off the court? Have you been kind of leaning on some of the other new faces as well, just because you guys are going through the same kind of process of adjusting?
I think one of the biggest things is they retained a lot of guys. So that chemistry and that kind of that culture was kind of there. And you know, my job is to come in with some of the new guys and just add to it. You know, continue to make that what it is and just build along that. So yeah, I have leaned on some of the new guys, but at the same time, the guys that have been here, they kind of set the standard for what we we all want to accomplish here.
You were asked about sort of taking the step up from Wright State, but what do you take away from Wright State that you think can apply here? Man, I spent a lot of years there, a lot of good moments, good memories. There's not too much I would change, if anything at all, from my time at Wright State. And so I've learned so much from my teammates, my coaches, just everyone that was involved in my process there has taught me so much, and I'm grateful for everything that happened there. And that'll still always be family to me at the end of the day, just like I hope when I'm done here, that's the same here. So, again, it was a great experience, and there's a lot that I learned that I can definitely take up to Ohio State up here. We've heard a lot about competition in open gyms and things like that this offseason between guys, even when coaches aren't watching. How much of that have you seen, and how positive do you think that is heading towards the season? Yeah, like you said, one of the biggest things that I've noticed in this team is competitiveness. Everyone wants to win at all times, and we're making things that probably couldn't even be games, just like regular shooting drills where, we're competing to see who gets the most makes. And that's probably common at a lot of places, but it's one of the things here we're doing that almost every day. Yeah. Just trying to have that competitive nature that, brings us closer at the same time, but pushes us to be better.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.